A big congrats on Crown Season 6. I mean, the first 4 episodes made me cry buckets.
Yeah,
Yeah, same.
yeah, it's very, very sad.
Let's begin with you, Miss Allison. I mean, you've been a series set decorator since 2017. What were some of the challenges presented in creating the set for this season?
Gosh, I guess being spread over lots of different countries because we were shooting in Spain and Paris and the UK. And for instance, the Ritz set was spread over 7 different locations and countries. So trying to sort of meld that so it felt like one space that made sense was quite challenging. I mean, it was a lovely set to do, bittersweet with the subject matter, obviously, but it was a lovely set to do. That kind of posh sort of 90s hotel in the kind of fired style. It was, yes, that was good, but tricky actually, weirdly, but.
Wow. Now, what about you, Miss Cate? You've been the hair and makeup designer since 2019. What was your favorite hair and makeup in any seasons that you've done?
Ouch. I mean, there have been so many. I think there's been about 1,000 cast since I started. So that's a really tricky question because you have a kind of emotional love of the actors as well as an attachment to the various looks. I mean, Gillian Anderson as Thatcher was a personal fave because it took a lot of development to get to the point, you know, there were a lot of kind of false starts and thinking we were almost there and then going back to the drawing board. So that's been fantastic. And really so many of the men's wigs, you know, the Alfayeds, that North African hair texture, anything that's been really technically demanding. And then I feel like we've kind of pulled off has been a favorite.
Oh, and Miss Allison, in your research in doing the set from the very beginning since 2017, what was your biggest discovery about the Royals and their set, the way you created?
Well, I guess the fact that each of their homes has a different identity with a different furniture pattern. So Scotland is kind of baronial Victorian, heavy, dark, and then Sandringham is more country style for pheasant shooting and country pursuits. Buckingham Palace is full of French furniture that they basically bought or stole after the French Revolution. And then it's just those different worlds. Quite nice to have an identity for each of those worlds so that you inhabit them. And then I guess jumping out of those worlds into Princess Margaret's world in the 60s or Diana's world in the 90s and Fayed's world with kind of the rich world of the 90s. I mean, so it's having those kind of counterbalances has been really great fun, I think.
Wow. And Miss Cate, you know, that at its heart, I mean, the first 4 episodes is about the death of the princess, right? Princess Diana. Where were you when Princess Di died? Do you remember?
I'll tell you exactly where I was because I was doing a shift as a telephone girl at Domino's Pizza when I was 16. And I came out of the shift at about 10:30 that night, and my dad picked me up, and on the radio in the car it said Princess Diana had been involved in a car crash. Maybe it was later than 10:30, it might have been more like midnight, but that she had hurt her wrist. And I remember very, very clearly that it was a very low-key kind of broadcast, and she'd hurt her wrist, she was in hospital, she was being treated, and then I woke up the next morning, and of course the news had been released that she had died. So yeah, I remember exactly what I was doing and where I was.
Wow. Miss Allison, my final question is this. At its heart as well, you know, the last episode is about the legacy of the Queen. How do you think the Queen impacted the world?
Oh, wow. I mean, I think she was a running thread through all of my life. So many people post-war in Britain and a bit, you know, generally through the Commonwealth and the world. But she was a sort of steady, constant, stable person that never rocked the boat or was particularly controversial. She was just an amazing sort of solid rock, like a kind of a parental figure through our lives. I think quite an amazing person.
Oh, it's lovely to talk to you guys this morning, and a big congrats on the crown again. Long live the crown.